Welcome back, everybody. I hope you are all having a fantastic day whenever it is that you are watching this. If this is one of your first times clicking on one of these videos, thank you and welcome. My name is Tyler Wiebe. I'm the owner here at Tyler Wiebe Fitness, and in these videos, all that I'm doing is taking all of the information that is out there in the fitness world, picking one topic, bringing it here, breaking it down in 10 minutes or less in just easy to follow steps so that all you need to do is just watch this video, apply the information, and you're gonna get the results that you've always wanted. Pretty simple, right? And if you are returning, well, welcome back. I've got a pretty awesome topic today that I want to talk about, and it is something that all of us have most likely wanted to do at some point or are still trying to do during our fitness journey. And that is to get that 10% body fat number. I don't know how that has been the magic number for everyone, but it always seems like anyone that I talk to, clients, potential clients, majority of the time, I'm seeing that 10% number. Now, I do want to preface this that ladies, this is going to be a little bit different for you as well because of just our biological differences. Body fat percentage is going to be higher on a woman than a man. Now, that doesn't mean that they are fatter, they are just going to be leaner at a higher percentage body fat. So for men, we're talking about, that 10% where the majority of guys are going to start to see their abs, and they're going to be a fairly lean person. For women, we are really starting to talk about more kind of in your 17 to 20% range, kind of right in there is where you are possibly going to start looking fairly lean. Those aren't hard numbers, but for the most part, that is what you are going to see. So please know that before we dive into it, that the numbers are going to be a little bit different depending on what sex you are. But how do we get down to 10% body fat? That can be quite the journey for someone, and it can mean some potential multiple fat loss phases along with multiple reverse phases. So I would say if you have this elusive goal of wanting to get to 10%, we want to have an idea of roughly where that is going to be, because that's going to allow us then to work backwards from where you are currently at and where you need to end up being. We need to know how much weight we are going to need to lose. Now, this is going to be more of an estimation. This isn't going to be a hard number because it can be hard to predict how much body fat that person is going to need to lose to get to that 10%. We all have a lot more body fat than we expect. And if you've never been really lean, and I'm talking, contest prep lean, it can be a bit of a surprise on how much body fat that we just do tend to carry, even if you're not considered overweight. You are still just going to have a lot more than you expect that first time you go through. So it is always best to understand that you are probably going to have to lose a little more than you would expect. The best way to estimate this, and like I said, is going to be such an estimation, is going to be roughly based on height. Okay, the shorter you are, obviously the lighter you are going to need to be. The taller you are, you're not going to need as light. So for myself, I am right around 5'11". For me to be, very, very lean on stage, we're talking around sub 5% body fat, I'm right around 170 pounds at 5'11". Now granted, that's taking into muscle and all other kinds of stuff into consideration, but that does give you a rough idea of where you might potentially need to add or where you will potentially need to end up. So once you have an idea of about how much weight that you are going to need to lose, you can start to set up the timeline of your dieting process. As a general rule of thumb, I'm not saying that this is etched in stone. If you have, let's say, more than 25 to 35 pounds to lose, it's going to be person dependent, context dependent, but roughly, within that 25, 35 pound range, you are most likely going to have to take a couple runs at dieting before you truly can get down to that 10%. The reason being is that once you start to get up in 35, 40, 45 pounds, plus weight loss needed, it can be quite difficult to diet for that long. Most people aren't going to be set up metabolically, food-wise, mentally to go for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months just to get down to 10%, unless they have a very, very concrete goal at the end of it of wanting to step on stage and that they are ready for something like that. But from my experience, most people aren't going to be ready for that long of a dieting phase. So how I would break this up to make it a little bit easier on you and as well to give you a better chance of maintaining that fat loss over time is to break it up in 20 to 25 pound chunks. Okay, so I would lose 20 pounds at a time, up to 25, spend time then in maintenance or reversing, building a little bit of muscle. The length of that can be however long you would like it to be. At minimum, you want it to be about as long as you dieted for before you diet again. So, for example, if you've dropped 20, 25 pounds over the course of 6 months, it is usually best to at least spend 6 months at your maintenance calories before you do start dieting again. We won't go into why, that will probably be a video down the road, but that is important to ensure better dieting as you go along. And what this is going to allow you to do is, yes, it might take a little bit longer, but remember, we're in this for life. But this is going to help make the stress of dieting seem a lot less stressful. And you are also then going to be able to work on improving your physique in other ways than just fat loss. And so when you are able to go through those maintenance phases or building phases, you're able to still improve your physique by building a little bit more muscle, we're getting stronger, we're eating a little bit more food, and all of that is just gonna equal a little bit more muscle, like I said. So for the next time that you do drop some body fat, guess what? We're gonna look a little bit better even as we continue to work along this journey to getting to 10% body fat, okay? So that's how I would break it up, and that's what my recommendation would be. If you've got, say, 25, 30 pounds to lose, or sorry, more than that, you're gonna most likely take a couple runs at it so that you are giving your body time to recover, and you're not just going to be running yourself into the ground with very, very little food. Make sure to take the time to have enough food for a longer term diet, because as the body gets to lower body fat percentages, it does tend to fight us quite a bit. It doesn't want to be super lean. The body likes having body fat on it. And so making sure that you're giving yourself enough runway with enough food before you go ahead and start dieting is also really going to help you set up yourself for success of getting to that 10% body fat. And then once you are there, then that is where we are able to now go back into our reverse and really look to maintain right around that 10% body fat, which is maybe not 100% doable. You'll probably fluctuate between 10 and 12%, but I really do believe that if you can reverse out of that slowly and really maintain your body composition, that is something that you should be able to hold for an appreciable amount of time if that's something that you are looking to do. So take your time, guys. Make sure you always have enough food. Adding cardio only when needed, and be patient with the process. You don't need to do it all at once. If you know you're gonna reach your goal, then you always wanna make sure that we're doing it in the healthiest way possible and optimizing the process as much as we can. Okay guys, that is gonna be everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're not missing out on any future content. And if you want to see any questions or topic answered on future videos, please shoot me an email here. Leave a question down below. I'll definitely get those into future videos, because guess what? This is all for you guys. This is just to help you out and get those results that you've always wanted. Have a great rest of the day, guys.